How's it going, guys? It's C-RadTV. Welcome to the NFL Week 17 picks. We are here, the final week of the NFL's regular season. Next week, it's the playoffs as we find out which 12 teams will contest for the 53rd Lombardi Trophy. So last week, when my picks went 9-7, so my overall record improves to 140, 98-2. So yeah, with me being now 52 games above 500, actually 42 games above 500, I'm guaranteed to be finishing with a winning record no matter what for the regular season. So yeah, let's go into the playoffs here. Let's go into the picks here's words. And let's see how I do this week as we look at our playoff situations. So for this one, I'm going to have all the games that mean little to nothing at the start. And all the games that mean more of the late games. And I'll get into those when we get there. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the first game we start off with Tank Bowl. So this Tank Bowl sees the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills playing in Buffalo. Two teams trying to tank. It's just going to be an absolute fucking shit fest. I'm going to say Miami Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins to win that game. Give me Miami in that one. So, yeah, continuing on next up, we have a rivalry fitting for a Tank Bowl. This Tank Bowl sees the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers playing at Lambeau Field. Possibly for Detroit, Jim Bob Cooter's final game as offensive coordinator for the Lions. You know, it doesn't really matter for this game what happens. I'm okay with whatever Detroit gets in the draft. So for this one, I'm going to take the Lions to win on the road to sweep Green Bay. Give me Detroit in that one. So continuing up, next up we got a couple games that actually have meaning, somewhat. So you have Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans in Houston. Houston locks up the AFC South with a win. And they also lock up a round one bye with a win and a Patriots loss. I'm going to take the Texans to win. So give me Houston in that one. Jacksonville's just trying to get a good pick. Next up, New York Jets, New England Patriots playing at Foxborough. New England locks up a bye with either a win or a Texans loss. Yeah, I got New England. It's a yearly tradition where the Jets come out just to get teabagged by New England. So give me New England in that one and becoming the second seed. So next up, we have Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints playing at the Superdome. I imagine this game the Saints are going to be resting a lot of their starters since really, Saints already have the first seed locked up in the NFC. So the road to the Super Bowl will go through New Orleans, so I imagine this game's not going to really mean anything. I'm going to take the Saints because I think Panthers are also going to tank and try and get a pick. So give me the Saints in that one. Next up, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants playing at MetLife. I think the Cowboys are going to be resting a couple starters. I don't think they're going to get the third spot from the Bears. So give me the Cowboys in this one to gain some momentum. And next up, we get to our final Tank Bowl of the season. So yes, this Tank Bowl sees the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing in Tampa Bay. And I believe the loser will finish in the basement in this game. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons, so give me the Falcons in this one. Tampa Bay's quarterback situation needs to be addressed in the offseason. So yeah, give me the Falcons. So next up, we have another game of meeting. We have Oakland Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City locks up the AFC West and the first seed in the AFC with a win or a Chargers loss. And the Raiders can lock up the first overall pick, I believe. I think it's with a loss. Wow, check the draft board again. I think it's either going to be a loss and 49ers and the Cardinals win. But yeah, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in this one because, they still got a lot to play for. Next up, LA Chargers, Denver Broncos playing in Denver. LA Chargers can lock up the AFC West and the first seed in the AFC with a win and a Chiefs loss. See, I'm going to take the Chargers to win that game. Also in this game, the Broncos, from what I've heard, the rumors are this is going to be Vance Joseph's last game as the head coach of the Broncos because he's expected to get fired. So, maybe hopefully the Broncos get a good coach in this game. In this case. Also for the Jets, it's also rumored that this is going to be Todd Bowles' final game as head coach of the Jets. That's the rumored. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, what's continuing on? Next up, we got another game with some meaning. We have the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers playing in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. The Rams can lock up a round 1 bye with either a win or a Bears loss. Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams in this one because 49ers can also lock up a first number 1 pick with a loss. So give me the 49ers in that one. Next up, we have a game that has meaning for the Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Arizona can lock up the first overall pick with a loss and 49ers win. Seattle Seahawks, they're locked up to be the first wild card. Probably going to be playing Dallas in the wild card round, so I imagine the Seahawks, this is a game they have nothing to play for. So I imagine they're going to rest a few of their starters to get ready for the game against the Cowboys. I'll take the Seahawks in this game. But yeah, everybody else, thank you for playing. So yeah, now let's get off to the playoff pictures to the games that actually matter. So let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Because the NFC playoff picture, it's pretty straightforward. For the Vikings, it is simple. Win and you're in. For the Eagles, they need a win and a Vikings loss to make the playoffs. So, let's get to those games. So, the first one we have the Bears and the Vikings in Minnesota. Chicago can lock up a round 1 bye with a win and a Rams loss. Vikings, of course, a win clinches down a wild card, the 6th and final wild card spot in the NFC. Bears got a lot to play for. I imagine the Bears are going to try and go all out for this one, so I'll take Chicago over Minnesota in this one. I think this will make Chicago go 5-1 against the division. God damn. So yeah, give me Chicago on that one. So that means to our next game, Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Redskins in Washington. Josh Johnson still getting a start for the Redskins. I'm going to take the Eagles to win the game. Big Dick Nick's going to lead the Eagles to the playoffs because Washington's going to tank. So in other words, I'm saying the Eagles will get the 6th and final wild card spot into the NFC playoffs. And will more than likely be playing the Bears in the wild card round. But hey, Chicago, Minnesota, that game could be a wild card preview because the Vikings could be playing the Bears in the wild card round. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's continue on first off to the AFC playoff picture. So there's 2 battles going on in this picture. So we're going to go off to the first battle for the AFC North. So for the AFC North, it is pretty straightforward. For Baltimore, win and you lock up the division. For Pittsburgh, you need a win and a Ravens loss. So let's take a look at these games. So first game, we have the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens playing in Baltimore. Baltimore locks up the North with a win or a Steelers loss. So Cleveland ultimately decides Baltimore and Pittsburgh's playoff hopes. They ultimately decide both their hopes. And I know for a fact Pittsburgh doesn't care. Why should Pittsburgh care about their playoff hopes? They're a division rival after all. But yeah, also a Cleveland win will give Cleveland their first winning season since 2007, so you know they're going to try and go for it. Cleveland won earlier in the year, but that was with Joe Flacco. The Ravens have looked a lot better with Lamar Jackson. They've been hot. I'm going to say the hot streak continues, so I got the Ravens winning against the Browns, so give me Baltimore in that game. And the other game, Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers played in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs a win and a Ravens loss to lock up the AFC North. Because for both teams, that's the only way they're going to make the playoffs, is winning the division. So ultimately, Cincinnati also decides Baltimore and Pittsburgh's playoff hopes too. I mean, on paper, Pittsburgh should blow out Cincinnati, but as we've seen time and time again, Pittsburgh is notorious for playing down to their competition and making it more competitive than it should be. I'm going to say Pittsburgh wins this game, but it won't be enough because Ravens will also win. So I have the Steelers missing out on the playoffs. So yeah, give me the Steelers that are full of drama to miss the playoffs in this one, but they'll win. And of course, now before we get to our final game, this game is also rumored to be Marvin Lewis's final game as the head coach of the Bengals. He's probably not going to be fired. He's probably going to come back next year. Since Cincinnati's owner is a cheap piece of crap. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, continuing on. Next up to our Sunday night game, which decides the 6th and final wildcard spot in the AFC. It's simple. Indianapolis and Tennessee. Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. The winner gets the final spot in the playoffs. The loser is sent home. And for the Titans, there's a lot of uncertainty on who's going to be the quarterback. Because Mariota's day-to-day with that shoulder injury. So I imagine Mariota's going to play through the injury to try and help the Titans make the playoffs. You know, I'm just going to go with a safe bet. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts. You know, they're just a better team than Tennessee overall. So I'm going to take the Colts to win that game. Also in this situation, whoever wins can also lock up the AFC South with a win and a Texans loss. So if Houston loses, then watch out, this gets interesting. But yeah, I'll take the Colts to win. But yeah, those are my Week 17 picks. Next week, the playoffs. I'm starting to work a bit on my playoff grid. You know, I'm just waiting to find out who the other spots are going to go to before going all in with it. But yeah, let me know what your picks are. What are your playoff predictions? Who will be in? Who will be out? And who will end up with the number 1 draft pick? But yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope everyone has a great day, and yeah, peace out.